Hey everybody, it's Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun, host of Vancouver Island Time, and obviously host of Community Talks now. I'm here with Ame-Lia Tamburrini. Is that how you say your name?
Ame-Lia, yep.
Ame-Lia, sorry.
No worries.
So I really wanted to talk to you today because to me, you kind of represent community. We've talked a lot about sort of the big picture of community and how you do some consulting. First of all, why don't you tell us your background and what your company does? What does Hum Consulting do?
Yeah. So my background, my training is actually epidemiology and kinesiology. And it's funny being an epidemiologist in this time, because I think everybody's very aware of that field all of a sudden. But where my heart has always been is really in community and working to bring community voice into decision-making processes. And so Hum is all about decreasing divisiveness and increasing connection in communities and in organizations through the art of conversation.
So and you have some specific training in that, right?
I do, yeah. So I'm trained as a public participation facilitator through the International Association of Public Participation, but I'm also trained in circle dialogue and in restorative justice facilitation.
Cool. And so we were talking a little bit before we started about how community has helped us adapt. And I was saying that, you know, I have the strong community of E-Women Network behind me when I've needed help. I've just reached out there. How have you found your community? Who are you going to right now to ask for help?
Yeah, good question. I definitely E-Women Network has been a huge resource. Those relationships have been so supportive at this time. We're all entrepreneurs and we all have similar challenges. So that's been great. Definitely some close friends I rely on. Some of my other communities, like my dance community and my Pilates community, those have also been great resources for me to tap into.
And so are you doing the Zoom meeting thing, or are you actually doing the social distance, like at the park sort of thing?
Oh, a bit of both, mostly Zoom, but some physical distancing, and I'm going to call it physical distancing very specifically, because I don't think this is about social distancing. I think, if anything, we really are meant to be social in this time, and it's all about finding ways to do that. But on the video thing, I love video, I love Zoom, it has a specific purpose, but I do think picking up the phone too has been another resource for me, because it's a little bit different. It takes less energy than Zoom or video call. And it's a bit more intimate. So in some cases, it works really well.
That's interesting you say that, because I've been phoning up my clients and we've actually had really great conversations just talking things through. And some of them I haven't talked to in a while, like maybe a year or two, who you know, just have a question they want answered. And I'm finding that I'm reconnecting with them on a deeper level through the telephone. So I agree. So who do you think right now, in terms of the community at large, who is being impacted the most right now in terms of our community?
Yeah, I think it is those population groups that have pre-existing comorbidities, health issues, and those populations do tend to be our homeless populations, our immigrant populations, our Indigenous community, and our lower income populations, and certainly those living in unsafe housing conditions. It's really all those communities that rely pretty heavily on social services, volunteer organizations that provide them sort of that safety net to get by and thrive right now. And those organizations are struggling right now because they've lost their workforces of volunteers.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think also they're a bit marginalized because some of them might not have access to information, like daily information, like even the internet, or even have a cell phone. So they might not be aware of what's going on. They probably, like if we were looking at a wave, they would be at the end of the wave of information, correct?
Yeah, I agree with that. Mm-hmm.
So are those communities able to, like, are things relaxing at that level where people could go and help? Is there any way that the public can get re-involved? I know that the food banks are now asking for money as opposed to help.
Yeah, I think that's the way of most organizations right now. As far as I know, that those safeguards haven't been relaxed at all. And so I think giving money is the best way to support those organizations, because where they used to rely on volunteers to do so much of their work, they're now having to dish out funds in different ways to get around and be more creative about supporting the communities they serve. And so I think for them, money is just like, yes, please. And they know where to put that to best use.
Yeah, and the city of Victoria is being very proactive about getting people into housing. Specifically, I think they're using hotels, right?
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
So, what are the key organizations that are supporting those people?
Well, I mean, there's a lot. I hate to even, um, what's the word? Highlight certain ones over the others, because so many organizations are doing amazing things. But certainly I'm supporting Our Place. I feel like Our Place does so much for the community, for the homeless and those that are addicted. And Kool-Aid Society is a very similar type organization. In terms of organizations supporting those in domestic violence situations right now, which is a very unique and intense situation. Transition House, I think Bridges for Women, and the Cridge Center are three that come to mind that are supporting those population groups. And then there's an Aboriginal, the Aboriginal Coalition to End Homelessness is another great organization. And I think if people can't decide, because there are so many, the Victoria Foundation, if you go to their website, there's that Rapid Relief Fund, and that money is just being distributed to those most in need. So it's another great place to put your money.
Right, and it's being headed by people who are in the know about where the money is needed. Yeah.
Yeah, so important.
And so do you know what their website is actually? Is it?
Oh, I think it's just Victoria Foundation something. Let me just see.
Okay. I will put it in there at the end. Okay.
VictoriaFoundation.bc.ca.
Okay. dc.ca. Okay, awesome. All right, I'm just going to put that in there. So if you want to donate, that's a good group to go to, victoriafoundation.bc.ca, and then you can, they will choose who they're going to give the money to based on need. Okay, so we have regular people here who themselves are kind of on the edge, especially entrepreneurs. Some of us have been able to adapt and adopt practices that have allowed us to do well. Others, it's not so easy. So what, though, can people do to help strengthen their community if they don't have money at hand?
Right. Well, I think there's so much we can do that's in our control that does not require money at all. And for me, when I think about community, I think about connection, because really that's what community is. It's how we connect with people. And so it's just finding ways that you're able to do that. So I think in the home setting, first and foremost, it's something people don't necessarily think about, is connecting with themselves, because taking care of ourselves is priority in terms of how we can actually then show up and support our communities. So just having a moment in your day at some point and checking in with yourself, asking yourself, how am I doing today? And what do I need today? And you don't need to like go to the meditation pillow if you don't have access to that. You know, when you're washing the dishes, you can just have a moment, check in, do some deep breathing, and get clear. But in terms of connecting with others in your community, I think Lisa Helps actually had a great suggestion on her live feed. I think it's Neighborhood Day coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you don't know one of your neighbors and you're walking by, just stopping and asking, how are you doing? And really being curious about how they're doing, getting past the I'm fine, and maybe digging a bit more by saying, tell me more. What's happening for you right now? Those conversations, I think, are so supportive and so simple and really easy to do.
Yeah, I was asking my neighbor if he needs help in his garden. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
when I live in the country, and so we're on larger lots, and so we've actually worked to develop a pod in the area. So normally the pod's like one little part of a street, and what we've done is, or what I've done, because I took over. Was I connected with all the pod leaders, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's get this going, because with Facebook, it allows us to just kind of expand our reach. So just community groups. So we did a hearts in the window where I went around the neighborhood and I took pictures and I put together a little video and sent it to our Victoria hospitals online. Every time I do a post, I say thank you.
Nice.
I got everybody doing the thank you, Tracy. Tracy says, no surprise there.
Yeah.
I got everybody doing the 7 o'clock clang and honk for healthcare. And last night I taped it because you know what? It's starting to really come together, and I hear we're on top of a little valley, and I hear the people in the valley are starting to get more involved. And I think that's a check-in time. What do you think about that? That 7 o'clock is not only to support the healthcare workers, but also to just check in. Hey, are you there? Sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I find it's great. It's connected me. I'm in a condo building, and there are homes down below, and I don't never interact with the homes down there, but we all come out together at the same time, and we've been waving, and I feel like it's going to transform our whole summer because there's just a deeper connection there going on.
Have you ever go
Go
ahead?
ahead.
I was gonna say, have you ever seen the advertisement? I'm not sure what it's for, where somebody's in the elevator and everyone's looking at their cell phones and they all get off, and then she decides to have dinner in the hallway, and she starts knocking on doors,
No.
and so they bring them at the table, and then everyone starts bringing out chairs, and then they have this big long table. And then the little girl runs to the end. I mean, that's something I think I would do if I lived in a condo building.
Totally. I love that. I've definitely been having neighborhood chats where we just knock on each other's door and then stay the distance apart. And there's been food exchanges going on, like a whole whirlwind of baked goods is going through this building, which, is contributing to the COVID-19 weight gain phenomenon.
I'm just looking here. Okay. So Susan Younger? Is
Yes.
that through eWomen Network?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Erica Tucker is saying she loves the less energy. She finds the Zooms draining. Mm-hmm. I do too. I think, is that because of the concentrated focus, do you think, over time?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a couple of things. It's staring at a screen, which we're just not accustomed to doing. When we have meetings face to face, we go out for coffee, we do other things. We don't interact this way. And mm-hmm. There's the technology component of it too. There's lots going on. There's chat box over here, and somebody's dog came into the shot over here, and it's just there's just more energy to interact and stay connected.
So I'm just going back here. So within the neighborhood, mm-hmm. Where do you think we should be focusing?
In terms of connection and community?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's certainly those in need, people that if you have seniors or folks that can't get out and about, or maybe are struggling with mental health challenges, like going to the grocery store is a very stressful thing right now. It's not normal. There's lots going on there too, a certain energy about it. And so anybody that you can support in those ways, whether it's grocery shopping, bringing them food, giving people a card, drop a card under their door or in their mailbox. I think really focusing on those people that might be a little more isolated in this time and that don't have the social support networks built up around them is really important.
I find right now the elderly people are scared.
Yes. Yeah.
So I feel the need to, I have, my stepmom's in Toronto, you know, I call her up once a week now, and I should have always been calling her up once a week, but now I'm better at it, mostly because the time difference is hard. The 3-hour time difference is hard, but I think that for her, she's in her 80s, and I sense a fear. They're afraid of getting sick.
Yes.
But also, I think, you know, I live, as I said, in the country. I notice that people are still getting together, but they're, what'd you call it? Not social distancing, physical distancing.
Yeah.
They're still getting together, but they're meeting at the park and they're walking 6 feet apart. I noticed today I had to drive downtown, so I'm giving all my clients a mask when I meet them as one of my closing gifts. And I was driving by the Red Barn, and I noticed they only had baskets out, but everybody knew, just stand where the basket is.
Yeah.
And it seems everybody knows how exactly 2 meters or 6 feet is away, right?
Totally. We have a much more sense of distance coming out of this. It'll be great.
Do you think this is going to change us, like in the next 20 years, if there's going to be a change?
Oh my gosh. I watched this amazing video today. This is related to this question. My brother sent this to me, and it was, oh gosh, what is it called now? I can't remember it, but I will send you the link afterwards. But it's sort of like, it's his father, and he's reading a story to his child, and it's all about this period of transformation. It's something like that. And they're reflecting back on COVID-19 and what it actually brought to us, to the world. And it's all about recentering on our priorities, what's important to us: connection, conversation, sharing a meal, growing a garden, the simple things in life. And the video also alludes to the fact that this is not going to be the only event. So I think we are going to see more and more of these types of events coming on, especially with climate change and virus transmission rates. I think this is the beginning. No, not even the beginning. This has been going on for some time, but it does feel like there's so much opportunity in this moment. And now that we've gotten through, we're going through a grieving period, right? We talked about this a little bit before we started, that at the beginning there was denial. There were all those memes going out, like making fun of COVID. And then we sort of woke up and we're like, oh shoot, like this is for real. And then there was anger and there was sadness, and we're entering this period of acceptance. And in that period of acceptance, there's so much opportunity for people to ask, okay, well, what am I learning in this moment? And who do I want to become as I emerge out of this? And I hear people asking those questions and making changes in their life. And so maybe it's that the pandemic lasts long enough that some of these habits we're starting to develop actually sink into our bones, and we carry them forward. And I don't think it's going to be like this major shift, and we will slip back into busying ourselves and disconnecting in certain ways, but I don't think it will be to the extent that we have.
Think it was a tomfoolery video.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Have to run. Nice to hear from you both, from Carol and Harry Duncan. Okay. So it's interesting you say that, because I posted of course, I'm very conscious of the fact I'm touching my face now. I posted a little drawing of somebody going up the stairs, and to me, it represents growth. And I think there were 7 steps, and I was asking people where they were today. Like where you're talking about, I think the acceptance is, it's true. Everyone's going through it at different periods. And I think those that adapted really quickly, and I think it's a certain personality type that does that adapts. It's an action personality that gets excited with the change, and then they pivot really quickly. And other people are a little slower. There may be the late adopters, and they're having difficulty with it. So I think we just need to, that's where the saying comes in, to be kind, right? Because we just have to be accepting that we might not all be changing our perspective at the same time.
Totally. I agree 100%. And I think that's one tool I use a lot in having connecting conversations. And it's why I alluded to the fact to check in with yourself too every day, because it makes a big difference. We are unsettled, but not really being with that. And then that can relate in putting a lot of energy out there that we don't want to. But same goes for other people. Some people are sort of in lockdown with family members right now, where usually you get sort of a natural break in your day. And that can certainly intensify issues.
Really?
Can you relate, Jane?
No, I can't.
You're not alone. You're not alone. But curiosity, it's such a great tool. I think having curiosity about yourself, but also curiosity for that person. And so if you're able to sort of take a step back and pause and just be like, oh, I wonder.
Give permission to like yourself. A lot of people like themselves.
Oh yeah. Self-love. This is a huge time for self-love and compassion. It's we're all going through a lot right now. Our whole worlds have been flipped on their heads, and we've lost a lot of control, and there's a ton of uncertainty. Nobody likes that. It's a very uncomfortable place to be.
I think that's the hardest part, actually, because we don't know when the end is going to happen. Yeah. If I knew like this was 12 months, okay, I'd pace myself. Maybe I wouldn't have had a couple of bags of chips. Got COVID-15 going on, COVID-19 now. And I'm okay with that. I just decided it's fine, whatever. And I'm giving myself permission to relax. I admit, I have been very reflective of this time and what my normal rhythm would be. Like I'd be up at 6:30 and on the water at 7, rowing. Okay. So not doing that. Like this morning, I woke up at 6:30 and I'm like, it was beautiful. And here I am not able to enjoy it. But I also know I would have been harried and all rushed at the end of the day. And I'm really grateful for that. And I can spend time with my dog. Our dog is loving that we're around. My kids, not so much.
You bring up another good point there of gratitude. And I think that's just another amazing tool to switch our energy when we are feeling pretty down and out or feeling hopeless in these times. But just trying to center in on something you're grateful for in this moment. If it's not your family members, then maybe it's the dog or your meal that you're able to eat, the running water from your tap.
We say thank you every night. Mm-hmm. We're not religious, but we thank whoever made the meal. And we always are saying to our kids, we really enjoy the fact, because our kids are about to, fly the coop. So we have a bit of empty nest syndrome going on, and just being able to spend time with them. And I've been doing my 30 and 30, and I'm said to my assistant today, like, I'm kind of having trouble finding 30 things to do. One thing a day. And I was saying to my husband the other day, though, really I'm doing 4 things a day. So I'm doing my 30 and 30 and do one of these interviews. I walk my dog and I make dinner. So
yeah, And I think that's good. Woo! We should celebrate. Make sure you celebrate.
Okay, so let's conclude. So you're saying show gratitude, reach out and touch somebody virtually over the telephone.
Mm-hmm.
What else would you say to summarize what we've learned today?
Yeah, giving at this time is such an energy shift. So if you can give financially, and I challenge everyone to think to know that they have more money than they think. So give if you can. And what else? I think it's one thing we really haven't talked about is recreating those informal moments. This especially regarding the workplace. I've heard that a lot, that people really miss just the informal ways that they used to connect, just, stopping by a person's desk or going out for coffee. And so you can recreate those moments virtually. It's not quite the same, but again, by just picking up the phone, or if you're going to use Zoom, don't just use Zoom for the formal meetings, but have lunch together or go for coffee, grab your tea and sit with one another and just chit chat, or don't. But it's a way to bring those informal moments of connection back, which I think are really important.
And so Susan Younger says celebrate and share humor.
Yes. Oh yeah. Beautiful. I love it.
And I think also, be forgiving of other people and understand they're under stress and they may not be feeling so great. Wendy Williams is saying do FaceTime. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I found whenever we meet online, it kind of makes my day. And I really enjoy doing things like this because I found that I'm getting to know people on a different level than probably I would have elsewise.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, okay. Well, thank you. How do people get in touch with you? Let's just get that up. And who are your ideal clients?
Oh, my ideal clients are bold leaders who really want to create communities, either external communities or their internal working communities that are connected and doing great things. That's, yeah.
Internationally, locally?
All over. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you want to reach Ame-Lia, you can reach her at Ame, AME -LIA at humconsulting.ca, 250-885-4331. Or you can go to humconsulting.ca. Or if you want more information on what's happening in real estate, we are seeing a bit of a bump happening. You can reach me, Jane Johnston, at the Briar Hill Group. And you can check us out on Monday. We're going to be going a bit later. We're going to be talking to Leslie Hopkins about pelvic floor issues. Yay! And fitness, essentially, and just taking care of yourself during this time when probably a lot of people are maybe giving themselves a bit of too much of a break physically. All right, and Tuesday we'll be back with Laurel, Lori, and Bettina about health in the home in terms of what's happening with your relationships with your family. And then the rest of the week, it's up to you. If you want to be on the show, let me know. And don't forget to go to my YouTube channel, Jane Johnston, and like what you're seeing because we need to get to 1,000 viewers. Okay, talk to you later. Have a great weekend. Thanks so much for coming. And we really appreciate you.
Thank you, Jane. I appreciate you too. Yeah.
See you later.
Bye.